Hello, my name is Connor Weberg. I chose the drug melatonin. So, melatonin is a common off-the-shelf drug that's been found to the aid in helping people sleep. Basically, it initiates the sleep cycle when a person would otherwise still be awake. I chose this drug because I personally have trouble sleeping, and I started to use this, and I started to wonder why it does what it does and how it does what it does because it's been proven to be non-addictive and differing amounts of it affect people in different ways. So that was what I was curious about is how does melatonin affect people? How does it cause them to go to sleep basically? So melatonin so how melatonin works is that it binds to MT1, which is this is in a neuron cell. So melatonin binds to MT1, which is a receptor for melatonin, and that MT1 is coupled with a G protein. So it binds to the G protein, and a subunit of the G protein breaks off and travels to adenosine cyclase. This is an enzyme and it is responsible for converting ATP to cAMP. So it tells the adenosine cyclase to turn off basically and stop changing ATP to cAMP, and which in turn which then PKA, which is protein kinase A, is downregulated because the protein kinase A is regulated by the cAMP, and since there's less of it, then it's downregulated, which in turn downregulates the CREB, which is cyclic adenosine monophosphate responsive element binding protein, and that's downregulated. And it's that's upregulated, and is signaled to begin producing clock proteins by the lower expression of PKA. And then these clock proteins somehow signal the cell that it's time to turn off. But that basically it turns off the neurons, it makes the neurons fireless. And this is my research question is how do these clock proteins then influence the cell? Like what are the direct effects and what signaling units do they use? The other way that melatonin affects the cell is that it can bind to another major way it can affect the cell is that it can bind to MT2, and this is the same type of thing as when it binds to MT1, where it's coupled to a G protein and subunit breaks off. In this case, however, it travels to guanylyl cyclase, and that's downregulated. And the guanylyl cyclase is responsible for converting GTP to cGMP. And from there, I'm not sure. I don't know what goes on after that. So that was another possible question, but that doesn't have a lot to do with this sleep-wake cycle, which is the whole reason I chose this drug. So basically, to sum it all up, melatonin turns on clock proteins and causes clock proteins to be expressed. And I'm curious, and my question is, how do these clock proteins interact with the neuron cell and the brain in general to induce sleep? Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this. Have a great day.